Today I'm working on a commission. What's up friends, Liron here. Thank you for joining me in another video. This time I thought I'd do something a little different here. I'm working on a commission today, and this is something I rarely do, and so I even more rarely show it to you. Just someone turned to me and wanted me to help design their book cover. A local author here, and I was a bit hesitant because I kind of don't take commissions right now because I'm a bit selfish and I like to work on my own thing and kind of on my own my channel and my products, my courses, books, and so I decided to take it just to challenge myself and to have something a little different, and it kind of sounded cool to have my name on the book cover, so I just wanted to share it with you. It's very different from the things I usually do. It's sort of a pencil sketch, and then I go over it with a pen. It's a portrait. It's one of those things I don't really show you, and I just wanted to document a bit of the process of doing it, so hopefully you will enjoy it. Let's get straight into the action. So let's get started on inking this. I'm gonna just start with the line that makes the most sense to me, which is this area. Now, believe it or not, the part that gave me the most trouble was the hair, just because it involved some thought process on understanding how I want to break it to preserve its natural characteristics and its flow. So I just have this piece of tissue here to make sure I don't smear everything. And I'm just gonna start, as I said, with this line. I'm gonna get the eyebrow in. I'm not really a big fan, as some of you know, of pencil work or pen and pencil together. I just like to get things done in one go with the pen, which is really interesting because now I'm literally doing the very opposite of it. So I'm actually working with the very opposite of what I like. So, and add to that the fact that this is a portrait, which makes things way more complicated. So it's really interesting because I want to take upon me different tasks and work on things I'm not so used to doing on the one hand, but on the other hand, I kind of just want to do whatever I want to do, you know. So I'm trying to balance these things out. This is something that really just an author turned to me and wanted me to help with the cover design for their book. And this one is actually just a test sketch. It's not really going to be the final one. So we're just testing out some ideas, and honestly I was just like, yeah, well, let's do this, because I was thrilled to be working on something like this, and it's gonna be on the cover of the book, but it's really something that you know, you want to also have your freedom to do whatever you want. I believe the vast majority of artists have to do like commissions, I think, to really get money in. The truth is, I don't really have to. It's something I accepted because I wanted to give it a try. So it's really interesting to see how I feel about it, you know, because it's just kind of like, yeah, let's try it out, and then you know, could be a hit or miss depending on the type of work. By the way, the very first thing the author asked me to do was really good for me, for my style. It was more of a sketch of a train. I shared it on Instagram and Snapchat as well, but this one's a little more different than what I'm used to doing. So anyway, now with the pen you really want to simplify as much as possible. At least it is my goal here. I'm not gonna go over each and every pencil line that I did, because it will just lead to an undesired result, and it will make it look too sketchy, and I'm actually going for a cleaner look here. So depending on the result you want, if you do want to get like a bit of a sketchy result or a messy result. You can really play around with the pen and the cross-hatching and all of that. One of the most challenging things actually when inking is getting the curved lines right. This is really like a big challenge, I think, for a lot of people. Her hair, by the way, I really liked it. It has this sort of mass here in the front, and then there's like a shorter area here, and finally it goes and becomes long again. So this is going to be like one of the most challenging lines I can work on. So I'm just going to try and get it in one go. And a lot of this actually comes down to just like experience and practice on drawing these curvy lines, these very challenging lines, because here we're not just sketching, you know, we're actually trying to go over a line, but in the most pleasing way possible. So anyway, let me rearrange the camera for a moment. Okay, so just zoomed out a bit to give you a little more context of the character. And so the hair is going to be a big challenge for the pencil and for the pen step because of its wavy shape. Now, this line I just did with my hand resting on the sketchbook. With this one, I won't really be able to. I'll have to lift it up because I want to get it using my my elbow and my shoulder as a pivot because it's a relatively long line. Okay, so you kind of learn how to play around with your hand in a way that will allow you to do these kinds of lines, okay? Also, there's the thing of rotating the paper just to get the ideal angle, because if you want to get a curve like this, it's easy, but if it would go the other way around like this one, it's a bit more challenging, so you can totally turn it around. I may do so in the video, it's just a bit more annoying to watch, so maybe I'll try not to do that. Like this one, for example, I'm gonna just try and get it in like this. Okay, good. So yeah, I'm using the same Sakua Micron Pigma pen that leaked all over when I used watercolor on it. By the way, there's a bit of noise from the outside. I don't know why they're doing construction works like almost outside of my window, so hopefully it doesn't bother you too much. It doesn't come too much into the audio here. Just want to get a little more indication of that shape. And I'm not going for like a realistic look with this one, obviously. Just trying to get it in my own style. That was actually the request I got, to just do it in my pen style. So, like this. Just interested to know if any of you are working on commissions, like generally speaking. And if you want to share in a comment what you like about it and maybe what you don't like or what you like to work on the most, I'm curious to hear. So just wanted to rearrange the camera to show you the angle here. You can see I made a bit of a mistake here, but it's not going to be that bad. I can actually just cover it up by continuing this line here, and then it's like a split in the shape of the hair. It's really interesting how you can sketch with a pen or you can draw with a pen, sort of go over a drawing or try to achieve a certain result based on a sketch you made. And these are two very different things, because when you sketch with the pen, you're kind of more free and loose. And when you follow a pencil sketch, it's a bit more challenging, I have to admit. It's something I haven't done in a long time. It just restricts your movement a bit and becomes, I think, more of a challenge. I guess some people would say that they're having an easier time actually when it's done directly with, based on a sketch, like what I'm doing now. But for me, I'm so used to just sketching directly that it's easier for me. So hopefully that makes sense. Now just final line here at the back. And there are some details of the sleeve. Let me just grab a reference photo. So this is the sketch in its entirety. The last step really is just to get rid of the pencil lines. I'm using a kneaded eraser here so that I can go really light and not smear off anything. And I think I will leave this one as it is. Just because I actually want to get feedback on it. I think the only thing I may end up doing is just coloring the hair black, just darkening it completely, leaving some highlights to indicate these lines. So meaning it will be the negative. Everything is going to be black and these lines are going to be white. And this is it. Just wanted to show you some of the work process that's not just for videos, but some other things I do. Like this is really, I rarely do commissions right now, just because I'm too selfish. I just like to focus on my stuff. But like a lot of people do, and it's interesting to try and balance out the you know, the things that you do just for yourself as an artist and the things you do for others just to really make a living. And this one was my choice anyway, so this is it. Let's wrap up this video. Friends, I want to thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it and got something out of it. This is really unusual for me. It's something very different from what I usually do. And by the way, I have to mention, I have major respect for anyone who can ink and do some really accurate stuff while talking to the camera. It was much more challenging for me. When I do watercolor, it's much easier for me. It's more energetic. It's more, I think it just suits me better, and it's easier for me to actually talk about what I'm doing and feel really loose about it. And this one was much more challenging, so it was pretty cool. And this is it. Don't forget to follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, and I will see you again in another video really soon.